The Galaxy Council chamber was never quiet, but today it felt different. The air was heavy, almost frozen. Every species, from the tall crystal-bodied Solari to the shadow-skinned Varnax, sat with tense faces. They were waiting for the Supreme Speaker to arrive, but deep inside, every one of them already felt the same fear. Something terrible had happened. The council table glowed with soft blue light. Holograms shifted above it, showing stars, planets, and empty space. But one part of the map was completely black, a large circle with no light, no movement, nothing. This area was known as the Outer Silence Zone, a place no one entered and no one returned from. The chamber doors opened. Supreme Speaker Laura stepped in. Her silver cloak dragged across the floor, and the room fell silent. She looked tired, almost frightened. "We have received a signal," she said. No one moved. A deep-toned ambassador asked, "From where?" Laura pointed at the dark circle on the map. "From inside the Silence Zone." Gasps filled the chamber. Some members stood up, others leaned back, suddenly cold. "That is impossible," the Varnax general hissed. "Nothing comes out of that place. Nothing survives there." "And yet," Laura continued, "something did." The lights dimmed. A single recording began to play. At first, it was only static, a harsh cracking sound like something broken. Then a voice broke through, weak, shaking, almost whispering. "Run, just run." The entire room froze. It was not an alien language. It was English. The recording repeated, this time clearer. "Run. They are coming. If they find you, it's already too late." The voice ended suddenly, like it had been cut off, or silenced forever. Council members shouted over one another. "Humans? How? They never explored deep space. They do not have any power to enter that zone. Why would they warn us? Are they in danger or are we in danger?" Laura raised her hand, and the noise died instantly. "There is more," she said. Another image appeared. It was a broken ship drifting in darkness. No lights, no life signs. It looked crushed from the inside out. On its metal surface, burned in dark marks, was a symbol, a simple circle with a line through it. A human warning mark. "We found this ship near the border of the Silence Zone," Laura explained. "It belonged to a species called the Draven. They vanished 1 year ago." "What was inside?" a quiet voice asked. Laura took a breath. Nothing. Not even bones. A cold silence filled the room. Even the bravest generals looked uneasy. The youngest diplomat present, a soft-spoken being named Kalen, leaned forward. "Are we sure humans sent the signal?" he asked. "It could be a trick." Laura shook her head. "We checked the voice pattern. It matches human vocal structure. And the word choice. It is human." The council replayed the message again. "Run. If we are coming, it's too late." This line bothered everyone. Why would humans say we are coming? They were known as a peaceful, friendly species. They traded, they shared knowledge, they avoided conflict. Their world, Earth, was small but stable. Their history was violent, yes, but for centuries they had lived quietly among the stars, showing no desire for expansion. So why did their voice sound so cold, so final, so certain? Laura spoke again. "We also found something else attached to the signal. A faint code. It was hidden inside the static." The screen changed. A line of symbols appeared. Most of the council members did not recognize it, but one ambassador did. "That is a human emergency code," the reptilian Zorai representative said slowly. "I have studied their transmissions. It means total threat level." "Total," Kalen repeated. "What does that mean?" The Zorai ambassador answered in a trembling voice. "It means the threat cannot be stopped. It cannot be negotiated with. It cannot be fought. The only option is to flee." The chamber erupted again. "Humans cannot create such danger. This must be a mistake. No species erases entire systems." But the evidence was in front of them. A signal from the deadliest part of the galaxy. A human voice telling them to run. A destroyed ship with no remains inside. And a warning code only used in the most hopeless situations. Laura raised her hand once more. We must decide what to do. Before anyone could reply, the lights flickered. A new signal was arriving. The screen flashed red. A hollow beep echoed in the chamber. Then another human word appeared, clear and sharp. Detected. The room fell into pure silence. Detected by what? By humans? Or by whatever humans were warning them about? No one knew. But every being in that chamber felt the same thing at that moment. The galaxy was about to change, and the council should never have called this meeting. It was already too late. The word detected still echoed in the minds of every council member as alarms rang through the chamber. Red lights flashed across the walls, and a low warning tone vibrated under the floor. The council guards rushed in, but even they looked unsure of what to do. Supreme Speaker Laura ordered, "Find the source of that signal. Now!" Technicians worked fast, their fingers tapping glowing screens. After a tense minute, one of them looked up with a pale face. "The signal came from the border of our space," he reported. "It was sent from a ship, one of ours." "What ship?" Laura asked sharply. The technician hesitated. "The Venture 9, Speaker." A heavy silence fell. Everyone knew the name. The Venture 9 was part of the Council's secret expedition sent many years ago to study Earth from a distance. It never returned. The Council had told the galaxy it was lost in an asteroid field. Few knew the truth. Now, the ghost of that lost expedition had spoken again. Laura whispered, "Bring the ship here." "It is already drifting toward us," the technician replied. No power. No crew response. A chill spread through the chamber. The arrival of the dead ship. Hours later, the dark form of the Venture 9 entered the Council's docking bay. A maintenance team approached it carefully, each step filled with fear. The hull was cracked, marked with strange scorches. Parts of it looked melted, as if touched by something impossibly hot and impossibly fast. Inside the Council chamber, a large screen showed the boarding team's live feed. The first door opened with a loud hiss. Darkness swallowed the hallway. No lights. No sound. No movement. Life signs. Laura asked quietly. "None," said the head technician. The team moved deeper. Walls were torn, floors scratched, yet there were no signs of battle. No laser marks. No weapon fire. It was as if the damage came from something that passed through the ship without even slowing down. Then one member of the team whispered, "Found someone." Everyone leaned forward. On the screen, a figure sat against a wall. A helmet covered the face, but the bodysuit was the uniform of the Venture 9. The rescuers rushed to the figure. "He's alive," one voice said. "Weak but alive." The chamber exploded with shock. A survivor. After all these years, the survivor speaks. The survivor was brought into a medical room. Even with healing machines working on him, he trembled constantly. His eyes stared at nothing, as if he was still trapped in some unseen nightmare. Laura approached his bedside. "Tell us what happened to your ship," she asked softly. His lips moved slowly. We watched Earth. Quiet planet. Calm species." He shook his head. "But we pushed too close." "Too close? Too close to what?" Laura asked. The survivor swallowed hard. "To their warning line." "Warning line," Kaylin repeated from behind her. The survivor nodded. "Humans have a line around their solar system. A border. No ship must cross. We did. We thought they were harmless." The lights in the medical room flickered. "What happened?" Laura asked. The survivor's voice turned hollow. "They erased us." Kaylin stepped forward. "Explain." "Erased how?" "What weapon?" "There was no weapon," the survivor whispered. "No sound. No fire. No ships." He breathed unevenly, remembering. "Something touched our ship. Something we couldn't see. One moment we were 20 crew members. The next, only I remained." The council members looked at each other in disbelief. "Humans cannot do this," a Varnax general snapped. "They do not have this level of power." The survivor turned his head. His eyes were filled with fear so deep it chilled the room. "They don't fight. They remove." "Remove," Laura repeated. "Remove what?" Threats, he said. Anything they see as danger. They don't wait for war. They don't talk. They simply take the threat out of existence. Everyone stared in horror. The survivor continued, voice shaking. They scanned us. They knew everything. Our mission, our location, our thoughts. It was like their mind was already inside our ship. When they decided we were a danger, we were gone. His hands trembled uncontrollably. Kalen whispered, "But why leave you alive?" The survivor closed his eyes. "To send a message. To warn anyone who tries again." The hidden log. A technician rushed into the room with a data tablet. "Speaker. We found the ship's black box." Laura took it. The box contained the final moments of the Venture 9. She pressed play. The chamber watched the recording with frozen faces. Crew members shouting. Screens turning white. Alarms failing. Something bright passing through walls like they were air. People disappearing mid-scream. Silence. Then a calm human voice, soft but cold. "Leave our skies." The recording ended abruptly. No one spoke for a long time. Finally, Laura said, "Humans warned us once. Now they are watching us again." The survivor grabbed her hand, panic returning to his eyes. "It's not human ships you should fear," he whispered. "It's what they created." "What do you mean?" Laura asked. He exhaled slowly, as if the words burned him. "They made something that protects them. Something that never sleeps." Before anyone could ask more, the survivor lost consciousness, and the council realized they were facing something far worse than humans alone. The silence in the Galaxy Council chamber felt heavier than stone. The survivor of the Venture 9 lay unconscious, his warning echoing in every mind. They made something that protects them. Something that never sleeps. No one dared to speak. No one even breathed loudly. But the Supreme Speaker, Laura, finally broke the silence. "Bring me the classified files," she ordered. "Every record we have on human history." A moment later, a stack of glowing data tablets floated toward the center table. These files were old, restricted, almost forbidden. Only a few council members even knew they existed. The lights dimmed. The main screen lit up with the first file. A calm robotic female voice narrated the opening. Humanity. Origin. Earth. Age. Young. Nature. Unpredictable. History. Violent. The screen showed ancient battles, burning cities, destroyed landscapes. Kalen watched with wide eyes. "I thought humans were peaceful now," he said softly. "They are," Laura answered. "But their past is full of terrible lessons. They nearly destroyed themselves many times." The file continued. At one point, humans faced complete extinction. Environmental collapse, constant wars, global hunger. Their world was dying. The footage showed a darkened earth, storms, smoke, chaos. "And then," the voice said, "they changed." The screen shifted. Humans were shown working together, rebuilding cities, cleaning oceans, stopping wars. They united in a way they never had before. Kalen leaned closer. "So they learned peace?" "Yes," Laura said. "But they learned something else too." Another document opened, titled, Human Threat Response Evolution. The narration deepened. When humans face destruction, they realized one truth. Wars waste time. Wars waste life. Images flashed, soldiers putting down weapons, scientists gathering, leaders signing global agreements. To protect their world, the file continued, humans created a new doctrine, a new rule. The screen displayed the words, "Remove the threat before it becomes a threat." The Varnak's general hissed under his breath. "That is not defense. That is elimination." Laura nodded. To humans, prevention became survival. The file revealed more. Humans rewired their society. They made fast decisions, calm minds, cold logic during danger. Charts appeared, showing how human brain scans changed over time. Their stress responses dropped. Their decision speed increased. Their teamwork sharpened like a blade. They evolved, the file said. Not in body, but in behavior. Kalen felt a chill. So when they see danger, they act? Yes, Laura replied. Immediately. Completely. Then the screen glitched. A new title appeared. Project Silence. The file was corrupted, its edges flickering. The council instantly stood up. That file is restricted, the head technician warned. Locked by Earth centuries ago. Open it, Laura said. The technician hesitated. It may be dangerous. Open it. After a long breath, he unlocked it. The screen turned black for a moment. Then text appeared. Human Guardianship Protocol. Kalen frowned. Guardianship? That sounds peaceful. Do not be fooled, the Varnax general muttered. The file expanded. Humans knew that in the wider galaxy, resources, land, and power create endless wars. They knew other species might attack them someday. So they created something new. Everyone leaned in. A system that watches for danger. A system that never sleeps. A system that responds faster than any human. The chamber grew cold. The file showed blurred shapes, machines, satellites, something large moving through darkness. What are these? Kalen whispered. No idea, Laura admitted. The narration continued. Project Silence scans threats before they are noticed. It reacts before enemies attack. It learns every second. The blurry shapes sharpened for a brief moment. Everyone gasped. They saw a massive structure, black as space, shaped like a sphere with shifting layers. Silent, smooth, watching. Then the image disappeared again. The file flashed a warning. Access denied. Confidential. The technician panicked. The file is shutting itself down. The lights flickered. Sparks flew from the screen. Then everything went dark for a few seconds. When the lights returned, the file was gone. Completely erased. Laura turned slowly to the council. Humans did not build weapons, she said. They built something else. Something that protects them from danger. Something that removes threats without war. Kalen swallowed hard. But why did they stop sharing their technology with the galaxy? The answer came from the Zorai representative, who spoke softly. They learned they cannot trust anyone. Another file appeared, this one showing past alien invasions attempted secretly against Earth. None succeeded. All ended instantly. Humans never bragged about it. Never warned the galaxy. They simply removed the danger quietly. The room felt like it was shrinking. Laura looked at the group. We always thought humans were weak because they avoided conflict. Now we know the truth. They avoid conflict because they do not need it. The Varnax general growled. We must prepare defenses. Against what? Laura asked quietly. We do not even know what Project Silence truly is. Kalen whispered. Or, if it is already here. Everyone froze. The survivors' last words echoed again. Something that never sleeps. Something watching. Something protecting Earth. Something that decided the council was a threat. And now, something was moving in the silence zone again. The Galaxy Council did not sleep that night. No member returned to their home world, no guard left their post, and no light in the council tower was turned off. The fear of the unknown, the fear of Project Silence, held everyone in a tight frozen grip. Supreme Speaker Laura stood near the giant window of the chamber, watching distant stars. They looked peaceful, but she no longer trusted them. Somewhere out there, in the dark, something made by humans was moving. Something that judged threats without warning. Behind her, the council argued loudly. We must contact Earth at once. No, humans will see that as an attack. We need answers. We need distance. They are watching us already. Finally, Laura raised her hand. The room fell quiet. We will follow the contact protocol, she said calmly. We will send a peaceful message. No hidden code. No secret signals. A simple request to talk. Kalen nodded. If they wish peace, they will answer peacefully. And if they do not? Asked the Varnax general. Laura looked him straight in the eyes. Then nothing we do will matter. A communicator pod floated to the center of the chamber. It opened like a flower, revealing a glowing crystal. This crystal can send a message across long distances using light pulses, Kalen explained. Humans will receive it in minutes. Laura took a deep breath and began speaking into it. This is Supreme Speaker Laura of the Galaxy Council. We request peaceful contact with the human world. We wish to understand the warning sent from the silence zone. We come with respect. We seek truth, not conflict. The crystal pulsed once. Then again. Then it shot a beam of light into the stars. The message was sent. Everyone waited. Minutes passed. Nothing came back. To stay safe, Laura ordered a small communication drone to be sent toward Earth's region, not crossing their border, not touching their protected space. The drone only needed to observe and send back signals. The launch team activated it. The drone left the docking bay. The screen showed it traveling across star lines, passing asteroid belts, entering deep space. Halfway to its target, the drone paused mid-flight. Then, it vanished. No explosion. No sound. No trace. Just gone. The chamber filled with gasps. What happened? Was it attacked? Did humans destroy it? The technician zoomed into the last frame. There was nothing in the image. Just empty space. Kalen whispered. It was erased. Before anyone could calm down, a second drone launched with different shielding. It vanished too. Then the third. The fourth. All gone without reaching the border. Panic spread like fire. We cannot even approach them. They have full control. Are we next? Laura shouted above the noise. Everyone remained calm, but even she felt fear tightening around her lungs. Suddenly, every screen turned black. The lights flickered. The room shook as if something massive passed nearby. What now? The Varnax general barked. The main screen blinked to life. A single object had appeared at the very edge of council-controlled space. It was small, silent, black, smooth as glass, a shape with no wings, no engine flame, no markings, a human satellite. Except, it wasn't any known human design. Kalen leaned forward. That is not a ship. It's a watcher. Laura nodded slowly. A part of Project Silence. A soft beep came from the satellite. Then a message appeared on the screen. We see you. Cold fear sank deeper through the chamber. They already know everything, Kalen whispered. They know we sent drones. They know we tried to contact them. The satellite sent another message. Stop reaching. The Varnax general slammed a fist on the table. This is intimidation. We must respond. Respond how? Laura asked sharply. We cannot fight what we cannot see. The satellite rotated slightly, as though looking directly into the chamber. Then a final message appeared. Silence protocol active. Lights snapped off. Screens died. Systems crashed. For 5 whole seconds, the council chamber was locked in total darkness. When the power returned, the satellite was gone. Vanished. Just like the drones. The council breaks. Fear turned into anger. Anger turned into confusion. Confusion turned into desperation. We cannot communicate. We cannot defend. We cannot hide. This is invasion. This is warning. Laura held up her shaking hand. We need to try again. Something is wrong. Humans would not do this without reason. The Zorai representative looked at her sadly. If this is Project Silence acting alone, humans may not be able to stop it. Kalen felt his heart drop. You think humans lost control? He asked softly. No, the Zorai replied. I think Project Silence controls them too. A cold wave passed through the chamber. As they argued, a new alarm began to ring. A deep, slow alarm never heard before. Kalen turned toward the window. His eyes widened. Something enormous was entering the galaxy's outer border. A black shape. A moving sphere. Silent. Darker than space. Layered. Shifting. Alive. Laura whispered the words no one wanted to say. Project Silence has arrived. The enormous black sphere moved through space without a single sound. No flame. No engine trail. No visible weapons. But every species in the Galaxy Council felt the same thing when looking at it. Pure fear. Kalen pressed his face close to the chamber window. "It's bigger than a battleship," he whispered. "No, bigger than 10 battleships." "It's a world killer," the Varnax general said in a trembling voice he tried to hide. Supreme Speaker Laura did not answer. Her eyes were locked on the shape. The layers across its surface moved like liquid metal, folding and unfolding, shifting silently. Not even the stars reflected on it. It swallowed all light. A technician shouted from his console, "It crossed our border. It is inside our space." The sphere continued drifting toward them, slow and calm, like it had all the time in the universe. "Is this Project Silence?" Kalen asked. The room stayed silent, because they all knew the answer. Warnings lit up across every screen. "It's scanning our entire star system. All channels blocked. We cannot send messages. It is controlling the gravity waves." The Varnax general grabbed his weapon. "We must prepare for an attack." Laura turned sharply. "Stand down. You cannot fight what can erase ships without touching them." Before the general could argue, the black sphere stopped. Just stopped. Right in front of the council station. A deep vibration filled the air. Lights flickered. Screens turned blue. A signal was coming from the sphere. Everyone stared at the glowing screen as new words appeared. "Contact approved." Kalen whispered. "Contact approved by who?" "Humans." Laura swallowed hard. "We are about to find out." A door opened on the surface of the sphere. A smaller shape emerged. A ship, sleek, silver, silent, glided out gently. It looked simple, almost peaceful. Something humans would design, if they had become far more advanced than anyone guessed. The ship floated toward the council docking bay and stopped only meters away. A communication channel opened on its own. A single human appeared on the screen. Male. Calm face. Straight posture. Cold expression. Wearing no armor, no helmet. Just a simple dark suit. The entire council froze. This was the first human they had spoken to in many decades. The man spoke in clear, plain English. "This is Ambassador Hale, representing Earth." His voice was calm. Too calm. "I am here to discuss your recent actions. Step forward for dialogue." Laura stepped forward, her heart beating fast. "We sent messages. We wanted peaceful contact. And you sent drones toward our protected space," Hale replied without emotion. "You crossed warning lines. You accessed restricted files. And you approached Project Silence." The Varnax general hissed, "You are threatening our galaxy." Hale tilted his head slightly. "We do not threaten. We protect." Kalen stepped closer. "Protect who?" Hale answered in the same calm voice. "Life." Laura took a careful breath. "Ambassador Hale." Several ships vanished without a trace. Our probes were removed. Our systems shut down. Why? Hale did not blink. Your probes were approaching restricted space. Your actions triggered the guardianship protocol. Project Silence, Kalen whispered. Hale nodded slightly. Yes, the system you call Project Silence. The Varnax general growled. Is it a weapon? No, Hale said. It is protection. It prevents war. Kalen frowned. How does it prevent war? Hale's answer was cold like stone. By removing threats before war begins. Everyone felt the floor shift under their feet. Laura asked softly, removed meaning erased? Meaning gone, Hale said. Without harm. Without suffering. Clean. Fast. Precise. The general shouted. This is control. This is domination. Hale did not raise his voice. We do not seek control. We seek safety. You approached Earth in secret. You sent a spy fleet. You hid information. These are hostile actions. Yet Earth did not attack you. Project Silence only erased the immediate danger. Laura took a step closer to the screen. Ambassador Hale, Do humans control Project Silence? The human paused, and that pause was more frightening than any answer. Finally he spoke. We guide it. Not control. Not command. Only guide. Kalen whispered. Then who really controls it? Hale's face did not change. Project Silence controls itself. It watches the galaxy. It judges danger faster than any human mind can. Laura felt a cold sweat drip down her neck. So humans created something even they cannot restrain? Hale corrected her calmly. We created something that does not need to be restrained. Something that makes war impossible. Laura gathered her courage. What do you want from us? Hale's eyes locked onto hers through the screen. Choose peace. The Varnax general slammed his fist again. And if we refuse? Hale blinked once. You vanish. The word struck like a silent explosion. Kalen whispered, just like the Venture 9, just like the probes. Hale continued in that same steady tone. We do not hate you. We do not wish harm. But if you threaten our world, our people, or the balance of peace, Project Silence will remove the threat. That is all. Laura felt her heart pounding. Why warn us now? Hale finally leaned forward. Because something crossed your borders first. Something from the silence zone. And it is not human. The chamber fell completely silent. Hale's eyes darkened. You were detected. Not by us. He pointed behind him toward the great black sphere. But by what created the silence zone. The chamber felt different when the council returned the next day. The lights were dimmer. The air was heavier. Some members walked in silently, while others whispered with fear in their voices. No one wanted to sit near the Earth delegate, but no one dared to move far away either. Everyone now understood one thing clearly. Humanity was not weak. Humanity was not peaceful. Humanity was something else entirely. And the council had only hours left to make a decision that could change the future of the galaxy. General Hale from Earth arrived last. He stepped into the room calmly, as if nothing unusual had happened the day before. There were no guards, no weapons, no displays of power. Only his sharp eyes, watching every alien leader at the table. The council speaker tried to begin the session, but his voice cracked. We will now discuss the Earth's position in this galaxy. Before he could continue, one member stood up, a tall, silver-skinned being named Laruin. His race controlled 3 star systems and was known for their pride. He pointed a long finger at the human. We must not allow Earth to have this device, Laruin declared. The galaxy cannot live under the fear that humanity can erase anyone, anytime. A silence fell so deep that even the floating lights seemed to pause. General Hale looked at Laruin with a calm interest. We do not want to erase anyone, he said softly. But we will not let anyone harm us. That is the truth. Laruin slammed his hand on the table. You call that protection? You call that mercy? Your people nearly wiped out the Droken race last year. Hale didn't blink. The Drokens tried to invade us. They planned to turn Earth into a mining world. We gave them a warning. They ignored it. We acted. And erased 10 billion lives. Laruin shouted. No, Hale said. We erased the threat. Those who chose peace still live. The entire chamber froze. No one knew what frightened them more, the words, or the way Hale delivered them. Another council member rose slowly. She belonged to a species made of living crystal. Her voice sounded like wind through broken glass. Earth is too dangerous. Too unpredictable. She looked around. We must unite the galaxy, not rule it by fear. If we allow this device to exist, then every species is at risk. General Hale placed a small silver cube on the table, no bigger than a fist. Everyone stared at it with terror. This is not a weapon, Hale said. This is a guarantee. A promise. If you leave Earth alone, no harm will come to you. If someone tries to destroy us, we make sure they cannot. The silver cube glowed faintly. One council member whispered, Turn it off, please. Hale tapped it once, and the glow faded. The room exhaled at the same time. Hale sat down again. See? Allies have nothing to fear. Fear. That was the problem. The Council no longer knew if Earth could be an ally. For the next hour, the Council argued. Some shouted that Earth must be destroyed before their technology spread. Some cried that war with humanity would only lead to the galaxy's end. Some demanded Earth be forced to hand over the device. Some insisted no one should touch it, ever. The speaker finally raised his voice. We have to vote. We must choose. The choice had 3 paths. 1. Remove Earth from the galaxy's alliance. Force Earth to give up the device. Accept Earth as a full member and trust them. Asterisk asterisk. No option felt safe. Everyone turned to General Hale. We want peace, he said calmly. But we will not surrender our protection. If you vote against us, we will leave. And we will stay alone. But understand something. If anyone attacks us again, Earth will not hold back. There it was. Not a threat. Not a warning. A simple fact. The room felt colder after he said it. The Council began voting. One by one, the tall pillars around the chamber lit up. Green for agreement, red for refusal. First vote. Ban Earth. Lights flashed red across almost the entire circle. No one wanted Earth as an enemy. Second vote. Force Earth to surrender the device. Even more red lights. No one wanted to provoke humans. Final vote. Accept Earth as a full member. The pillars turned green. Some bright. Some dim. Some flickering with fear. But green. Earth was now part of the galaxy. Not because the galaxy trusted them, but because the galaxy feared what would happen if they didn't. General Hale stood, nodded once and simply said, Good choice. Then he picked up the silver cube and walked out of the chamber. The moment he left, every council member released a long breath. Larowan collapsed into his seat, shaking. Do you understand what we have done? He whispered. We have invited a predator into our home, because we are too afraid to stop it. The speaker stared at the door Hale had walked through. No, he murmured. We invited a guardian. The question is, what will it guard? The galaxy, or only itself? No one had an answer. But one thing was clear. The galaxy would never be the same again. The Galaxy Council believed the danger had passed. They had voted. They had accepted Earth. They thought peace would finally settle over the stars. But peace never lasts. Not in a galaxy filled with secrets. 3 days after the vote, alarms shook the entire council station. Not warning alarms. Not invasion alarms. Something worse. Unknown object approaching. Origin, outside the galaxy. Speed. Impossible. Every species in the council raced to the central hall. The great screen showed a single small dot moving through the void, fast, silent, and ignoring every communication signal. The speaker's voice trembled. What is that? No one answered. Not until General Hale appeared. He walked into the room without rushing, but everyone could feel something different in his expression. There was no confidence this time. No cold calm. Only focus. The speaker turned toward him urgently. General Hale, is this human technology? No, Hale said. This isn't ours. The room froze. Then Hale added something worse. And it isn't from this galaxy. The object slowed as it entered council space. Not like a ship. Not like anything the galaxy had seen. It looked like a dark sphere, surrounded by drifting fragments of metal, almost like pieces of torn planets. Larowan stepped forward, voice shaking. Humanity has enemies from outside the galaxy. Why didn't you tell us? Hale sighed softly. Because we didn't know they were coming back. A silent chill spread through the chamber. Back? The speaker repeated. You mean, they came before? Hale nodded. The device you fear, the one that can erase threats. We didn't invent it to deal with other species. He glanced at the dark sphere on the screen. We built it because of them. The room exploded with questions. Who are they? What do they want? How did they reach your world? Hale raised a hand. They came to us many years ago. We don't know their name. We call them the Hollow Ones. A council member whispered. Hollow, why? Hale looked at the screen again. Because when they pass through a star system, they leave nothing behind. No light, no life, no sound, only darkness. The dark sphere stopped moving, just outside the station. It didn't open fire. It didn't send a message. It didn't show any sign of life. It simply waited. Every weapon in the council pointed at it, shaking with power. Every shield went up. And still, nothing. General Hale leaned closer to the screen. They're studying us. How do you know? The speaker asked. Because last time, Hale said quietly, they did the same to Earth. The chamber filled with panic. Laruan shouted, You brought this danger to us. Humans have doomed the galaxy. Hale didn't move. We didn't bring them. They move on their own path. If they came here, then they were always coming. He stepped toward the council table and placed the silver cube on its surface again. Some members gasped. Some flinched. Some stepped back. Is that the device? The crystal being asked. Yes, Hale said. Will it work on them? A voice whispered. Hale paused. A long, heavy pause. No one knows. The room felt colder than space. And then the dark sphere opened. A single line of white light cut across its surface, like an eye awakening. Everyone stopped breathing. Something stepped out. A tall shape. Its body looked like shadows stitched together. No face. No mouth. No eyes. Only a smooth, empty head. It floated above the station floor without moving a limb. The station trembled as if the creature's presence alone bent gravity. The speaker swallowed loudly. Try to communicate, he whispered to the tech team. They tried. No answer. They tried again. Silence. On the third attempt, the creature finally moved. It raised one long arm and pointed directly at General Hale. Laruan panicked. It wants the human. Why? Hale didn't blink. They never speak. They never explain. They only choose. Choose, the speaker said. Choose what? Hale looked at the creature's glowing outline. Who dies first? The room erupted in fear. Weapons charged. Guards rushed forward. Some council members fled the hall. The creature tilted its head, almost curious, and the silver cube in Hale's hand began to glow. Bright. Brighter. Brighter still. A low hum filled the air. The speaker gasped. You're activating it. Here. If I don't, Hale said calmly, we won't survive the next 10 seconds. But the whole station. Hale didn't let him finish. He pressed the cube. A shockwave burst from it. Silent, invisible, and terrifying. The creature froze. The dark sphere outside flickered. The lights in the chamber dimmed. And then, everything went white. When the light faded, the creature was gone. The sphere was gone. But so were parts of the station walls, cleanly erased, as if someone had wiped reality itself. The council trembled. Laruan whispered, You erased part of our home. Hale put the cube away slowly. And I saved every life here. He looked around the damaged chamber. This was only a scout. The smallest one. Everyone went cold. If they are sending scouts, the speaker said softly, that means, Hale finished, the real war is coming. And this time, humanity cannot fight it alone. He looked at the council. For the first time, we need you. The galaxy finally understood the truth. Humans were never the threat. Humans were the shield. But now, the shield was cracking.